Over 60, cancer can become a much bigger health concern as you get older, and ignoring warning signs is something you don't want to do. Because when it comes to cancer, waiting until a problem becomes impossible to ignore can mean missing the chance to get it checked early. Maybe you've noticed a change in your body that wasn't there before. A lump, unexplained weight loss, unusual bleeding, a persistent change in your digestion, a sore that doesn't seem to heal, or a change that keeps coming back and you keep telling yourself, it's probably nothing. Please don't automatically assume that. Most changes like these do not automatically mean cancer, but they can be reasons to talk with your healthcare professional instead of brushing them aside. And that's where today's topic comes in, because what you put on your plate matters to your overall health and cancer risk profile. And your everyday eating pattern can either support your health or work against it. Today, we're looking at 6 foods and beverages that deserve a place in that conversation. And we're starting with one of the most familiar vegetables in the grocery store. 1. Broccoli. If broccoli isn't already showing up on your plate regularly, this is one food worth reconsidering. And I'm not talking about a tiny garnish sitting beside your dinner. I'm talking about making vegetables like broccoli a real part of the meal. Broccoli belongs to the cruciferous vegetable family, along with foods like cabbage, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. These vegetables contain glucosinolates, which can break down into compounds such as sulforaphane. Those compounds have attracted a lot of attention because of their potential biological effects. Broccoli act as a nutrient-dense vegetable that fits into the kind of eating pattern associated with better overall health. Broccoli gives you fiber, vitamin C, vitamin K, folate, and other nutrients. And there's a simple way to make it more useful in your everyday meals. Instead of treating broccoli like an afterthought, make it part of the main plate. Have roasted broccoli alongside fish. Add chopped broccoli to a vegetable and bean bowl. Or toss steamed broccoli into a hearty dinner with lean protein and whole grains. That way, you're not asking one food to do something impossible. You're building a meal around foods that give your body more of what it needs. And if you think broccoli is interesting, wait until you hear about its younger relative, because the next food comes from the same family, but there's something particularly interesting about its plant compounds. 2. Broccoli sprouts. Broccoli sprouts may look tiny, but don't let their size fool you. They're young broccoli plants, harvested just a few days after germination. And they're especially interesting because they can provide glucoraphanin, a compound that can be converted into sulforaphane. That's one reason broccoli sprouts have become such a popular food among people interested in plant-based nutrition. You could sprinkle them over a whole grain sandwich, add them to a fresh salad, use them as a crunchy topping for a vegetable bowl, or put them alongside a protein-rich lunch. That gives you a simple way to increase the variety of plant foods in your diet without completely changing the way you eat. And that's important because when you're over 60, you don't need every meal to become some complicated health project. You need choices that are realistic enough to repeat. A little broccoli at dinner, some sprouts with lunch, fruit during the day, vegetables in different colors, whole grains, beans, fish, or other nutritious protein sources. Those choices work together, and that's much more meaningful than searching for one food that supposedly does everything. Now, There's another category of food I want to bring into this conversation. Something sweet, something colorful, and something you might already have sitting in your freezer. 3. Blueberries. They're naturally sweet, easy to use, and packed with plant compounds. Their deep blue color comes largely from pigments called anthocyanins, a type of flavonoid, and that gives us a completely different nutritional angle from broccoli and broccoli sprouts. You can have blueberries with breakfast, add them to a simple fruit bowl, or keep a portion of frozen blueberries available when you want something naturally sweet. You're replacing some less nutritious choices with a whole fruit that provides fiber, vitamins, and plant compounds. So when you're reaching for something sweet, you don't always have to reach for a highly processed dessert. Sometimes a bowl of blueberries is enough to satisfy that craving while giving your body something useful in return. And that's the bigger lesson. Don't obsess over one superfood. Build a plate full of better choices because your next food brings another powerful plant compound into the conversation. And this one is sitting in kitchens all across America. 4. Tomatoes. They're simple, inexpensive, and easy to overlook. But tomatoes bring something important to this conversation: lycopene. Lycopene is the natural red pigment that gives tomatoes their deep color, and it belongs to a group of plant compounds called carotenoids. So when you add tomatoes to your meals, you're not just adding color, you're adding fiber, vitamin C, potassium, and plant compounds to the plate. And here's an easy way to make tomatoes part of your everyday routine. Add sliced tomatoes to a whole grain sandwich. Mix chopped tomatoes into a bean salad. Use them in a vegetable-rich pasta sauce, or simply serve fresh tomatoes alongside your main meal. That's the kind of change we're looking for. Not some complicated cancer-fighting recipe that you'll make once and never touch again. A food you can actually enjoy, a food you can actually afford, and a food you can actually keep eating. Tomatoes also give us something important to remember about this entire video. Color matters. Dark green vegetables, deep blue berries, red and orange produce. Different colors often mean different plant compounds and nutrients. So instead of eating the same two vegetables every day, give your plate some variety, because we're not trying to find one food that does everything. We're building a diet with more whole, nutrient-rich foods. And now, we're moving to a food that surprises a lot of people when cancer and nutrition come up. It's not a fruit, it's not a vegetable, and it's not something you need to fear. 5. Soy foods, tofu, edamame, tempeh, soy milk. These are all examples of soy foods that can fit into a balanced diet. Soy contains protein, fiber, vitamins, minerals, and naturally occurring compounds called isoflavones. And this is where the conversation gets interesting. For years, soy has been surrounded by confusion. Some people hear the word soy and immediately think it's something they should avoid. But ordinary soy foods can absolutely be part of a nutritious eating pattern. And if you're over 60, there's another advantage here. Soy can help you add plant-based protein to your meals. Try edamame as part of a lunch bowl. Add tofu to a vegetable stir-fry. Use unsweetened soy milk with breakfast. Or include tempeh as part of a balanced dinner. You're not making the meal about soy. You're using soy as one nutritious ingredient in a bigger meal. And that's exactly how I want you thinking about these foods. There's one more thing you should know. If you already have cancer or you're receiving cancer treatment, don't suddenly start taking concentrated soy or other dietary supplements on your own. Regular foods are one thing, concentrated supplements are another, and your treatment team should know about anything you're adding to your routine. Now we've reached our final food, and this one isn't something you chew, it's something you drink, a familiar beverage that has become famous for its natural plant compounds. 6. Green tea. Green tea has been around for generations, and its leaves contain naturally occurring compounds called catechins, including EGCG. That's what makes green tea such an interesting addition to today's list. But let's keep this practical. You don't need some exotic tea ritual. You don't need a giant bottle of concentrated extract. You can simply enjoy a cup of plain green tea as part of your normal day, after breakfast, during an afternoon break, or alongside a light meal. And if you're replacing a sugary drink with unsweetened green tea, you're making another simple change that can improve the overall quality of your diet. The goal is to make your everyday choices work more in your favor. Green tea gives you another way to bring plant compounds into your routine. Broccoli gives you cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli sprouts give you another source of those distinctive compounds. Blueberries add anthocyanins. Tomatoes bring lycopene. Soy foods provide protein and isoflavones. And suddenly, your plate and your daily routine has much more variety. That's a far better strategy than obsessing over one so-called miracle food. And now, let's bring everything together. Because there's something much more important than any individual food on this list, your overall pattern. Now let's put all 6 foods together. Because the real goal isn't to build your entire diet around one miracle food, it's to create a pattern where more of your everyday meals contain foods that support your overall health. Think about what that could look like. Broccoli with dinner, a few broccoli sprouts added to lunch, blueberries when you want something naturally sweet, tomatoes in your sandwich or salad, soy foods for a nutritious protein option, and green tea when you want a simple beverage. That's 6 different ways to make your everyday diet more nutrient-rich. And here's something else I want you to remember. You don't have to eat all 6 every single day. That's not the point. Variety matters. Rotate them. Combine them. Build meals you actually enjoy. Because the best eating plan isn't the one that looks perfect on paper. It's the one you can actually stick with. But don't ignore the warning signs. There's another part of this video that is even more important than the food list. Don't use healthy eating as a reason to ignore changes in your body. If you notice a new lump, unexplained weight loss, unusual bleeding, a persistent cough or voice change, a sore that doesn't heal, a major change in your bowel or bladder habits, or another unusual change that keeps getting worse, don't simply tell yourself, "I'll eat healthier and see what happens." Get it checked. Your food choices can support your health, but they shouldn't become an excuse to delay medical attention. And if you already have a cancer diagnosis, your nutrition needs can be very different depending on your situation and treatment. That's something you should discuss with your healthcare team rather than trying to handle it through internet food lists. One last thing. I know the title of this video is intentionally strong, but I want you to take the message in the right direction. Don't let fear control you. Let awareness motivate you. You can't control everything about your health. but you can pay attention to your body. You can make better everyday food choices. You can stay active within your abilities. You can maintain a healthy weight. And you can get concerning changes checked instead of hoping they'll disappear. That's real action. And that's much more powerful than waiting for a miracle food. Your 6 foods. So, if you want a simple reminder from today's video, remember these. Broccoli, a nutrient-rich cruciferous vegetable. Broccoli sprouts, a concentrated way to add variety from the same vegetable family. Blueberries, colorful fruit rich in plant compounds. Tomatoes, an easy source of lycopene and other nutrients. Soy foods, a useful source of plant protein and isoflavones. Green tea, a simple beverage containing naturally occurring catechins. You don't need to turn your kitchen into a laboratory. You don't need to chase expensive powders. And you don't need to completely overhaul your life tomorrow morning. Start with one better choice, then another, and another. Over time, those choices can become your normal routine. And please remember this. No one food can hunt down cancer cells. Not one bite can erase years of unhealthy habits. Food is not a replacement for screening, diagnosis, medical treatment, or professional care. But that doesn't make healthy food unimportant. Quite the opposite. A diet built around nutritious whole foods can be one meaningful part of taking better care of yourself. So if you're over 60, don't wait until your health gives you a reason to wish you'd paid more attention. Pay attention now. Look at your plate. Look at your habits. And most importantly, listen to your body. If something feels different and doesn't go away, don't just cover it up with another healthy meal. Get it checked. And if today's video gave you one food you genuinely want to add to your routine, tell me which one in the comments. Broccoli, broccoli sprouts, blueberries, tomatoes, soy foods, or green tea? I'd love to know what you're already eating and which one you're willing to try next. If you want more practical senior health videos that focus on everyday foods without making complicated nutrition feel overwhelming, subscribe and stay with us. Because the next time your body gives you a signal, I want you to be informed enough to notice it, not ignore it. Take care of your plate. Pay attention to your body. And don't wait until a warning becomes impossible to ignore. We'll see you in the next video.